Well, it's interesting. Like we're at a time of like the most freedom, artistic freedom, insofar as like, there really aren't any gatekeepers anymore. Anyone can make a record, anyone can put a record out. But then, the challenge and the thing we've been lucky enough to find as an audience.
Yeah.
So in all the things you mentioned, I think what we've been interested in doing is it's like kind of two parts, right? It's like one part is you want to find a bigger audience, but you also want to nurture the people that really support you, that are like really big fans of the band, that know about the band. So that's kind of where Patreon comes into play, for people that want to have, I think, kind of more of an immersive experience with artists, have more access to what we're doing, kind of get to lift the hood up and see kind of what happens behind the scenes, like, how we write songs and how we figure out what we're doing, all that kind of stuff. It's cool that we're able to do it, and I think I do think the pandemic kind of put all that stuff into overdrive. You know what I mean? When we sort of found ourselves a couple years ago, no ability to tour, which is really kind of that's really where most bands make their money. It's like, okay, well, what are we going to do? Well, we put a live streaming show together, called the Good Time Supper Club. And that really has kind of informed a lot of what we've been doing going forward. Everything from like Patreon was an outgrowth of us doing these live streams and kind of like finding there was a community of people that were coming every week to come watch the show, and they kind of started developing relationships with each other, you know what I mean, as well, which was really kind of unexpected and cool and rewarding. And then everything to like the most recent release we're putting out, which is a thing called Remote Transmissions Volume 1, was like, that was all due to our kind of like, I need to improvise and figure stuff out in the pandemic. It's a record of collaborations that we were doing. So we were doing a live stream show every week. It was like, okay, well, maybe we can invite our friends to come on and do a segment where, we collaborate on a song and we talk to them and kind of see how they're doing, So it's just, it's weird, but in a way it's like, it makes a lot of sense for our band, because the band started like not with an idea, and it was like, we kind of hit the ground running and we kind of had to improvise and figure things out. And so again, flash forward to 15 years, later, it's like, we're kind of still doing the same stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely checked out your Patreon and website and everything. I think you guys are kind of nailing it in that direct to your fans, building a community kind of way. Cause you guys offer like new song every month, I think. And then you also have your live streams, which we call Good Time Supper Club. Is that the name of it?
Yeah. You got it. And
I just think that was really cool. I think more and more artists are kind of starting to do that and trying to get to that, instead of going through the labels and trying to have them do everything for them. Just go directly to your fans and actually nurture that. And I think it makes like a lot more personal connection. And I don't know if you have had people like come up to you at shows and be like, hey, I was watching you guys on Patreon, or I saw a live stream, and now I'm a huge fan. But I'm sure that that's happened, or it's going to happen here shortly.
Yeah, definitely. And honestly, what's been interesting is that, we would always see people at the merch stand or whatever after show. You meet people, you get to talk to them for like a couple of minutes or whatever. But what was interesting is through all this live streaming and all this kind of virtual contact, we actually got to know people better in that realm. You know what I mean? So now when I see them at a show, it's like, hey, Chris, hey, Mike, hey, Cheryl, it's good to see you. You know what I mean? It's like, and we definitely, like you said, we definitely have a connection, and we've actually like spent real time with each other now. It's not just like, hey, thanks for coming to the show. You guys sounded great. Thanks. Nice to see you. We'll see you later. There's something more real there, which is very cool.